Was good. Was good. 1 second. Oh shit, I did display. It's in your head. Yep. Uh, yep. Application. Okay. It's off.
I know.
There's already audio input. Audio. Output capture. Output capture. Output capture. Yeah, audio output capture. No. Okay. How do I get a specific audio output capture? Application audio capture. Yes. Opera. Yes. I'm smart. Okay. Guys. Today we're making leveling up. Oh, shit. Yep. And yeah, I prompt engineered Gemini to do some specific tasks in teaching me how to handle this situation. This huge as complex as idea of leveling system I have. So yeah, we're gonna try doing it. I think we can do it somewhat simple, but I don't know how to, like, I don't know what to use or do. So first of all, let's delete data structure, which is wrong. You have to make it enum, it seems. So why enum? So enum, create an enum called, okay, whatever. It's a list of, okay, why? Let's just see what's enum actually. Blueprint, enumeration. Let's make a new folder actually. Enums. That's what is there. That is it. Okay, my memory is very bad. I'm suffering. Why is Creative Cloud taking so much fun? Oh my god, shut your ass up. End task. Die. That's off. Didn't answer. I was trying to understand how it works. Let's go details and put Unreal into Max actually, not Max. This already increased CPU usage but not memory. Hmm. I prompt engineer my PC. I just use my phone for rest. Yeah. Can you work now? Maybe I'll off it on. I'll go drink some water while that's turning on. I'm eating watermelon. Yellow watermelon. Tastes really good. I mean, just exactly like a watermelon, but it is good. Okay, it's 12:06. By 2, we have to finish at least half of this. So let's lock him, genuinely. Where is it? Why so? Why is it not opening? Damn. Yes, okay, found it. Okay, this is enum. I think here is where we give name. This is the total enum's name. This is the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8.
Bro.
You're being streamed so hard. Right. And you look like
No, bro.
oh the yeah, oh whoa, wait, what, how? I can't do that.
You know what to do? Wait, I say. Huh? Hold like this, okay? Spin. Your
Okay.
hands should go like this, back and forth. Yeah. Is that anyone online anyways? Huh?
Hmm?
There's no one there, right?
Yeah, there's one. But you'll later when I make a video of this, you'll be there.
Wait, you're making a video?
Yeah,
Here,
at
no,
least
take it.
this.
Anyway.
Cheese. Cheese. Shit, I'm getting distracted, man. Ah! This girl keeps distracting me. Very bad choice. Okay. And this song. No. Okay. Okay, in variable panel you can change the variable from single variable to map. Create a map with keys. Okay. With the map you can use a find node. Just plug in human athletic. Nah. I will. understand what enums are actually. Enum UE5.
Okay, so an enumeration, also called as enum, is a data type that consists of a list of named values. And we can use this for many things. For example, setting a list of weapon types, and then in Unreal Engine we can use this in Blueprint to say, okay, if we have this specific weapon type, as for example ranged, we can go ahead and do one thing or another. Super useful. So in order to create a new enum, we need to go to the content browser, right click, and go to the blueprint section. And then here you can see we have this data type, which is an enumeration, also called enum in game dev. So let's select this, name this something as e underscore, and then in this example let's do weapon types. So let's open this up, and as you can see we can go ahead and create a new enumerator, and we essentially create a list of essentially display names, right, like text essentially. So for example we can have the first weapon type, which will be of melee, right? Then we can create another one, and it can be, for example, ranged. Then let's create another one like magical, and then we can create another one which will be, for example, like medieval, whatever, right? I'm just adding some random weapon types. Okay, this is for example. So if now we say this again, so we have this weapon types, which consists of this amount of enumerators. So now with this created, I can go ahead and close this, and let's open up a blueprint. In this case, let me just open up a third-person blueprint just as an example. Okay, so here let's go to the event graph, and what I'm going to do is create a new grid, and this is going to be the current weapon type that our player would be equipping, right? So now we can set this variable type to be our e underscore weapon types. And now if I go ahead and compile with the variable selected, in the details panel, as you can see, we have this really nice drop down where we can select our current weapon type that our player would be equipped, right? So we can say, okay, so we right now have the ranged weapon type, or we have the magical, or the medieval, or the melee, right? Whatever we want. It's super easy to go ahead and select what weapon type we have with this little drop down. That way we don't need to create like multiple booleans and enable and disable each one, or have like a boolean of a string and change the string every time. Doesn't make sense. But an enum allows us to be super easy. So how do we implement this in the code? Well, let's say that, for example, when I press my left mouse button to attack, depending on each weapon type, I want to play a different attack animation. So let's right click and add the left mouse button, and let's just check what weapon type we have. So there's multiple ways to do this. The first way is to simply extract the current weapon type variable and do this equal enum, and then we can have this drop down and be okay. So if we have the ranged weapon type, we add a branch, and we do the following. For example, go ahead and add a parent over here, which we like, play the ranged weapon animation, right? Which is super cool. But there's a way better way to do this if you want to multiple cases. If you just want to check for one case, like for example, if it's magical in this place of the code because you only want to check it, we can use the equal and the branch and so on. But there's a way better way to do this, which is to use the switch on and then the numerator, which is e weapon types. And this, as you can see, gives us this node with multiple outputs for each enumerator that we have on the enum. And depending on whatever value this is, so right now is melee, this will go through the melee pin and plug in into whatever output. So I can go ahead and just put, for example, ranged over here also, and then it will be, so it will be like play, melee weapon, and then ranged, right? Imagine this. So as you can see
It's
right
an
now with my
enum
variable, I
typing or
have
whatever
the
enum
melee
thing is very
weapon
useful.
type. So if I was to press play, right, and press the left mouse button, as you can see, I'm printing there in the corner, play, melee, weapon, and name. But if I was to change the variable to be ranged, it will then go through the ranged output, because of course that's the type that we have right now. As you can see, now we have play ranged weapon type. So this is super cool because depending on each output, we can do a different type of logic super easily with literally this variable, which again is like a drop down. Now also let's cover how you would change and update this variable. So it's super simple, you just drag it and then select the set node, and there you go. You can just go ahead and put magical or whatever you want to mention. Instead of doing this, I would just simply set that variable to be like medieval or back to melee, whatever you want, right? Super cool, super simple, straightforward, and I use this all the time. I usually use this also. Of course, this is not only for weapon types or item types. This can be used for a lot more things. So really, it's whatever you want. But yeah, it's super cool. And Unreal Engine is super fun because you literally have it as a little data asset, so you can open up. You have the UI, and you got like an enumerator with a button and everything. Super cool. In other game engines and so on, you need to like create code for it.
I have understood enums. So basically, enums contain the specific typing, or let's say all the different variables that could have been inside this code, and you can change it on the go. So it's like they don't contain data, but they contain variables, and that's why data tables are there. Data tables are contain data, but not tables. That's easy. Strength. This is dexterity. I think we'll have 4 for the main stats, because subsidiary class stats are something I should work later after I've set all of this. So strength, dexterity. Oh, you write it in favor. Don't check out dexterity, intelligence. I don't know the spelling. What is the last one? Constitution. Yeah. You have to understand what actor components are. I want to learn actor components first, because I feel like I've seen a lot of places where they're being used.
How do we do it? What's up guys, welcome to new Unreal Engine 5 tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to use actor components. It's going to be a very easy to follow, so let's get started. But first, check out my new Unreal Engine 5 course with game activity on how to make a full scale assassin game with blueprints. You'll learn how to make a whole bunch of different mechanics that will turn you into a pro Unreal game developer. This course will supply you with all the resources and assets that you will need, so you can check it out right now through the link in the description. Alright, so an actor component is basically a small blueprint that we can attach into other blueprints. That way we can split the code and have things more organized. In this case,
Just
what
for
we need to do
organization,
is create
okay.
a simple stats actor component, and that way we can attach these stats to our player blueprint or also AI enemies in the future. So for example, I could go here into the content browser, right click, go to blueprint class, and then select actor component. This is the class that
Actor component is just used to keep everything organized, and you can grab information from the owner, which is BP third person character as well, so kinda useful. Class stats. What is it called? Learning up system. Inside this, I think we have to put our enum actually. Let's put inside this. Actor component. This is gonna be our actor component underscore level up system. Level up system. What have you named it in Obsidian? Stat mechanics? Stats, yeah. Main stat mechanic. Stat. Stat mechanic. Variable. Class stats, which will have enum, switch. This switches the Okay. So now we have the information on what typing of class stats there are. Now basically the way you level up is that you have this set amount of a bar, right? And whenever the bar gets filled 100%, you level up, right? And by leveling, when you level up, you just get some stat boost, basic stat boost, and then you'll get one numerical stat. Numerical stat I'm not going to explain right now, we'll get further away from now. But then that stat boost will, you have a choice. You could keep the stat, or like, how do I say this? You have leveled up, and then there's a choice to maintain that stat. You have a choice to not reduce, right? So let's do the first part. There you have a bar for each of these type of class stats and subsidiary class stats, which I'm not going in right now. It's just basic class stats, just that a part of the XP will go into subsidiary class stats, or you could just choose to do a task that only contains secondary class stats. But that's later on. It's not a big deal right now. So yeah. Oh my god. Ah, shit. So you have to make a bar for all of these, with each of them having their own specific typing. And it's such a what data tables are actually. Data table UE5. Data table.
What's up guys, welcome to new Unreal Engine 5 tutorial. Today I'm going to show you on how to use data tables. It's going to be a very easy tutorial, so let's get started. I just want to let you know that I just released a new free ebook you can download for beginners on how to master Unreal Engine 5, so I'll be linking that in the description. With that said, let's continue with the video. Alright, so data tables are a way of organizing data by rows and a structure. So in order to create a new data table in Unreal Engine, we're going to go into our content browser, right click, go to the miscellaneous section, and we have data table over here. So when we go ahead and select a data table asset to create, we need to pick a structure for each row. So a structure is essentially an asset that will contain multiple parameters about, subject, like weapons, items, or fields, whatever you want. In this case, I have a full tutorial on how to use structures in Unreal Engine, so I will be linking them in the description.
Yeah,
in my case, I already have
let's see what
this one
structure is
created,
first.
so I'm gonna use as build, which is gonna be
I remember
for
going
each
through it,
build
but I
board.
forgot it
Imagine that we're
about
building
it
like
completely.
a building system.
Yeah.
What's up guys, welcome to new Unreal Engine 5 tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to use structs. It's going to be a very easy tutorial, so let's get started. I just want to let you know that I just released a new free ebook you can download for beginners on how to master Unreal Engine 5, so I'll be linking that in the description. With that said, let's continue with the video. Alright, so a struct is a collection of different types of data that are held together for easy access. For example, we can use structs to define the parameters for a weapon, like the weapon damage, the weapon name, the weapon icon, and for example, image. So in order to create a new struct in Unreal Engine, we need to go to the content browser, right click, go to the blueprint section, and select a structure. So now we can name this nothing as underscore weapon. As for this example, I'm going to be defining all the parameters for a weapon. So let's open this up, and as you can see in this struct asset, we have a list of variables that we can add. As you can see, just click on this button. So for this first one, this will be something as the name, and once we have the name for the variable, we can define the type. So in this case, it will be something as the strength. Then I'm going to add the second parameter for my weapon, which in this case will be something as the damage. And now I can go here and select, for example, flow. Then I can do the same, but for the icon, and select the texture 2D. And then I can do the same for the mesh itself. And I can go and select, for example, static mesh, and there we go. So as you can see, I've defined all the variables or parameters that my weapon would require. Now we have this organized in a single asset type, which is a structure. So now this means that I can implement this in blueprints. So let's go ahead and open up the third person catch blueprint, just as an example. And I'm going to go and just go over here and create a new variable. And let's call this something as a weapon. So this will be my current equipped weapon. So what I can do is go here and select the data type that we just created, which is underscore weapon. And I can go and select this weapon, compile, and as you can see, having the weapon variable selected. In the data panel, we have this drop down where I can fill in all of the values. So for example, the name will be like, use sword, the damage will be like 15, I can select an icon, and then I can also select like a model image, right? And there we go, we have my sword, go ahead and create it. And now I can drag this into the event graph, get it, zoom in, and then right click and split it to get all the information. I'll also drag it and use this break node, where I can essentially get the same thing. As you can see, I get all of the different parameters as an output. So this means that, for example, when I press my left mouse button, I can go and print, I don't know, the name of the weapon, right? So let me just plug in the name from here, and when I press play and essentially left click, you can see that I get a sword, right? Because that's the name of the struct that I just created. But of course, we don't have a list of variables here for the weapon name, weapon damage, weapon icon, and weapon mesh. We have a single variable, which is a struct, which contains those variables inside of it. And this is super, super useful
We should make a structure actually, not enum. So it will have the information. Yeah. It'll have a. Let's see. Let's experience using it. Moving up system. Let's not name anything for now. Right? Let's keep it from 100 to this thing, because experience is going to be based around how good you did something. So that percentage value is easier to calculate and reduce to 100% from 0 to 100. If you're doing that, it'll be a multiple rather than dividing, which is I'm not gonna say it. It's just easier for me, I guess. Strength. Yeah, strength. Let's just put strength, dex, int, and con. Yeah. Let's try what data tables are. Blueprints. Tell me off AC.
What's up guys, welcome to new Unreal Engine 5 tutorial. Today I'm going to show you on how to use data tables. It's going to be very easy to follow, so let's get started. I just want to let you know that I just released a new browser. Right click, go to the miscellaneous section, and we have data table right here.
It's in the miscellaneous section.
So
add one more? No, this adds. Can we have structures inside structures? Oh, we can have structures inside structures. Ooh, wait. Wait, I think I'm unlocking something. What if structure underscore class stats? Yeah. Let's make new folder called structures. Yeah. Let's move this here. Let's make a new structure. S underscore str stat. Yeah. Inside this, what are the important information? One, the bar, float, strength, LB bar. Yeah, strength LB bar, which is a float that is from 100%. Then the level itself, level, which is an integer. Level bar if confirmed for each level, which I'll just make I have a choice. Either I go for having a boolean for each level, and when ticked, then the level is confirmed, unless you use a totem to reset that. Or I could have integer of confirmation of level to make it confirm. Integer would make it more this one. Confirmed level and level. Okay. Level confirmed. Which is an integer from 0 to 10. Yeah. Now let's try that with the structure. Can we switch to s underscore str? What? Wait, no, wait. What? Yo. What? Crazy. Okay. Yeah, that's what we're doing. So, yeah, we'll have all of these. Take me to the sun. Never share. Tell me you're the one that never fading. Take me to the sun. Okay, yeah, that's actually smart. Down, you're a genius. Let's duplicate this, and instead of naming it string, it's gonna be dex. Let's name it LV bar. This thing, I don't want to keep switching the. Something's weird, but it's okay. No, I thought I changed it. Confirm. It's not working. Below strength, agility. Agility, wisdom. Wisdom. And the last one, what was it? Endurance. Endurance. Action tonight. Strength, agility, wisdom, and the last one being endurance. So that's the structures part. Data table, okay. What happens if I add a okay, so from my understanding, enums structures actually contain data. It contains the information of data that it could have. And data tables has the ability to make multiple different versions of the same item with many different data. That makes so much sense. That's so intuitive too. Crazy. I just realized something. Player data table, enemy data table. Based around players' levels, I can create enemy stats. WS song is playing right now for this moment. Might as be when the stars. But it's not the time yet. It's not time for me to actually start using data tables. So, yes. I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. Why did I do that? This song is so perfect for this moment. Structures, class, structure. All I don't need this. Delete. Force delete. It's okay. Go here. Yeah, I'm smart. I thought I was being stupid for a second. Delete. Okay. Delete. LV bar, which is integer, which is 100, right? LV, which is not integer, my bad, float, not 64, float, 100, integer 0, LV confirmed, which is also integer. Now what I do is, from that information, we take in data structure. Yes, miscellaneous. Here in this, we create a new string then dex, then constitution, then endurance. No, not endurance. Intelligence. Constitution. Will of strength. Agility. Endurance. And fuck. Wisdom. Can I move this upwards? Endurance. Yeah. Now based on this information, can we put this in? No, we can't. Wait, how did he?
As a demonstration, so let's me use go ahead and create an actor, maybe let's word build, and let me open this up. So what we can do is create a new grid. So let's put in data table, and now I can go ahead and search for the data table. Let's search data first. Here we go. Type. Now we have a few of them. As you can see, in object types we have data table, which is the generic one. If I compile, as you can see, I can simply go and specify.
Oh, you have to. That's so stupid. This is stupid. Yeah. Data table. Class reference. Object reference.
Data table, so I can go ahead and select ET builds, and now in the event graph I can drag it in. As you can see, we have different options over here, right? So I can go ahead and type to the table. We have all the functions and nodes that we can use. For example, we will get all of the row names, right, as an array, and we will have the amount of rows that we have, things like that. But the real spice is when we create a variable for each row. So if I go here and say data row, right, it's a new variable, and I go and change this to be a data row, you can still have this data table row handle. If I compile this and expand this, as you can see, we have two options. First of all, we have a drop down to specify what specific data table we are referring to. In this case, DT builds. And now we have one for each row. So I can select floor or wall, as you can see, which is really cool. And now from there, I can drag.
Wait,
In this
what do you
case,
do?
we can still have this data table row handle. Row. Okay. And we will have the amount, functions and nodes that we can use. For example, we could get all of the.
Okay. Does data table row exist? Okay, I think let's get data table column as string. Okay. Get data table column, export names. Get table name, export names. Column names from export names. Get data table column names, get row names, row structure. Get data to row.
Row names, right, as an array, and we will have the amount of rows that we have, things like that. But the real spice is when we create.
Yeah, if I want rows and columns, the columns are this and rows are this, right? No, yeah, rows are this and columns are like this.
A variable for each row. So if I go here and say data row, right? It's a new variable, and I go and change this to be a data row. You can still have this data table row handle. If I compile this and expand this, as you can see, we have two options. First of all, we have a drop down to specify what specific data table we are referring to. In this case, DT builds. And now we have one for each row. So I can select floor or wall, as you can see, which is really cool. And now from there, I can drag this into the graph and start to do things. So this is another struct. So if I right click and split it, I have these two outputs. So first of all, the data table itself, which is essentially, this variable, I could even fill it in, right? And then the row name, the specific row name, which is, wall in this case. So what I can do is say get row, and there's this, very useful node where if I, fill in also the data table, I can fill in with this output or also manually search, whatever you prefer. But I essentially get the struct as an output. Now, by default is wildcard, but if I drag and say, okay, break, and I know what struct we're using, which is build, we can drag it up. And as you can see now, I have all of the options, right, of the outputs of the parameters for the wall row. So for example, this name would be the parameter here for wall, which is wall. And then the static mesh would be the control rate solid thing, and then the same with the icon, it will be this arrow, right? As simple as that. I mean, we could do even a test. I could go here and say print, and I could, fill in the name and put this, at the beginning of play. Alright, so now when the game starts, I would, if I drag it to level, print, whoa, so it's just hitting now with the overview, but you get the idea, printing that correctly.
Okay, so this is the whole data table, right? There's data rows leaking in, so I think if I got data row, string data row. So if I put data row string, switch this to data date. Yeah. Data table from class start, row name, string. Yeah. Wait. Split. Oh yeah, okay. So this guy is the data table itself. This is the row name, right? So if you break this, break cost. What is it? What did he show? What is the name of it? Oh, this is get data table. Get. I should. Yeah. This here, this data table. Could you have not done it without this? No, we couldn't have. Can we not set data table? Don't tell me we can't. Okay, we can't set data table. All of this is wasted then. These just contain data. They don't actually, you cannot change it unless you take it out of here. So just organizing, that's all there is to data tables. Other is so intuitive to so we can't. Oh my lord! That means whatever. It's not what I thought it was. Then the structures would have worked, I think. Oh my god. Oh my god, there's so many sets. data table. We can't change anything here. Oh. Oh yeah, this need to be there. How to make it all again? Fam, this is annoying as fuck. Okay. This one, STR. Yeah. Oh my god, damn. Okay. All of that just for this. But I did learn what data this thing is and how structures work, so I think it was productive. 1.5 hours spent on that. But yeah. Okay, next part. So now that we have all the information there, information is there, now you have to convert the information. Can we? Whoa, okay. That's cool, that's cool. No, man, this song is just too sad for me. Okay, now next part. Information there, taking and sending it into it. Is that? How do we do it? Event occurred. Type of event. This way we could use data, but then why? Okay, event happened. Based on beginner's luck, I'll explain the beginner's luck mechanic later. Beginner's luck. Based on beginner's luck, the percentage is formed. The percentage is then experience percentage. Okay, wait. So beginner's luck is going to be the one who gives us the understanding of. Okay, so beginner's luck is always present, and experience is always present. So I'll just explain beginner's luck. Beginner's luck is where at the start of the game, you roll a number from 1 to 100, and in the number 1 to 100, in the random roll, how much ever you get is the luck that you have in your life, in your game playthrough. So if I roll 99 per se, I'm 99% lucky, which means all the items that I could get, the RNG things, are 99% or 99% higher, the chances of it. But by being this lucky, my aptitude, or in the sense my skill to get better, is only 1%. So there's a drawback to being lucky. By being lucky, you can't just do everything you want in the game. It takes effort. Or by being skillful or very strong, it still takes lucky to get what you want. So the best area where you want to be is the mid ranges where it's like 40 to 60. That range is the best range for you to actually, you know, have the gameplay very easy and carefree. Let's see what are my chances actually. I want to see how lucky I am. 1 to 100 die. D100 very slow. I got 71. I got 56 for a second. 36. Okay. 90. Oh fuck. I got 99. That's crazy. No, it's invisible. Wait. Oh my god. Now it's too bright. Oh my lord, man. Yes. I got a 99 roll. That's crazy. Okay. So I guess I am 99% lucky. But yeah. So stats are based around players' beginner's luck. Which is in player BP because character BP because it's very important. It's going to be in character view, not in this thing alone. Stat mechanics so and so. What is it called? Beginner's luck. Integer. I haven't given any. How do you even get beginner's luck? I think on event begin play. Soldier is a nice song, but then by Joji, I mean, Soldier is a nice song. Only he could have done better. All the songs, genuinely, Soldier is super compared to all the other songs that he made in his new album, which is very shit actually. Sequence, what is what? Yeah, sequence. create a random digit. Random integer, maximum 100. Beginner's luck, set beginner's luck. On event begin play, that print. Let's see if this works actually. 25. Oh fuck, I forgot I had this movement thing that I made. Oh shit. Okay, that had to be done. It does work actually. 15, 41, whoa, lucky there. 27, 57, very lucky there. 33, 95, okay, it works. I'll see all that you want. Is she all that you need? I'll be there in a hurry. Baby, come back to me. I'll put you beside me. Oh, I can change it here. Down. Okay. Get owner. Yeah. From here, get beginner's luck. Okay. Now that we have beginner's luck with us, the information about beginner's luck. What should we do with it? Yeah. Take this. It should be a float. Yeah, it should be a float actually, I just realized. Wait, should it be a float? Not required. Nah, not required at all. Why does division need a float? Yeah, it does require. Now divide. Now specific actions based around how good you do it. I would make custom event where it checks how good you do it and then get the value. Can a float be fixed? Oh, okay, you can get a float value. Yes, by the way. Let's just consider some value for this thing for now. I say is no. Beginner's luck will give you the luck value, right? Only the aptitude is what gives you the this thing. So beginner's luck minus 100 equals the aptitude. Can I not change this? Okay. Make it so fine. Minus 100. Okay, so minus 100, that's the aptitude. Aptitude, the aptitude that we get. Oh hell. Amplitude. Should we divide it with experience? We have to multiply it. Yeah, we have to multiply it. So from this, multiply with exp. After you get that value, well, the exp is going to be based around like 1.3, 1.5 or something like that. So using that information multiplied by the amount of aptitude you get, why don't we set it as if you do a perfect score, that'll be so fast. Okay, let's just do this for now. Multiplied the digit that we get not less. My bad, greater. Digit that we get, no. The digit that we get right now this is our actual experience, right? That's the main experience. With that information, if that's the main experience, then after that, multiplying? No. Dividing? No. Multiplied, then that's the experience which has to reach 100. Oh, wait, no. Why don't we subtract it from 100? Subtract it from the specific value. But how do we find that specific task? It's subtract. Actual experience. This is the actual experience. What type of experience is it? How do we find that? Through the action that we did? And let's forget about that for now. Experience I should minus from class stat split break. Yeah. If lesser than oh shit. So there's a LV bar and that's the original bar, right? Which keeps reducing. But then if I wanna update it, oh my god, there's I need one more variable in the structures. One is LV bar and then LV updated bar, or a bar that is LV constant. Oh my god, that's the word. So there's one bar that keeps increasing each time you level up, and there's this other bar. No. Yeah, I think. Yeah, there's one more thing which will have the constant, like how much it should be, which will also increase as each level goes on. Yeah, that's the whole math, I think. Wait. No, this should be greater. Start a fight. Start a fight. Let's start a fight. Start a fight. I know. No, the original math went off. Wait, no, this here multiply. It cannot work now. No, it works. 0 plus, yeah. Let's put this 0.5. let's take this input I think it's under project settings. Yeah. Input action, mouse left. Yeah. Input action underscore mouse left. Impressed. And pressed. Can go through this. Let's print original. Yeah, it'll print all the original stats. Yep. Then it will add it. Yeah. I don't know how does it make get this. Cause I don't think it would work. I think I have to set. When would it know that's when it has to get that information? Makes no sense. Set oh yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Then Let's see if this works for now. The constant. Oh. Is 0. It's already 0, so it's printing it like that. So that's true. It's already 0. It's sending out 0 over and over again. Hmm. Okay, it's minusing out of 100. I was getting minus though. Oh. No, it should add. Wait, let's calculate. Let's actually print all of this, please. Confusing. Okay. This is gonna be pink color for aptitude. Pink color for aptitude. This is gonna be green color for original experience. This is gonna be the yellow color. Four. All of them are the same. That's crazy. Let's eat it weapon. $47. Okay, makes sense. 47, 47. $59. How? Is that minus? Oh, it's minusing off of 100. Oh, Oh wait, do you have to just? Oh my lord. Yeah, see? We got 70, 30. Yes, okay. That's fixed. Now, we don't need this anymore. I know that's fixed. Now let's. So, what am I getting? Half of that, half of that. Yeah. Okay. Actually, let's keep that previous this thing. I forgot the number. 98, 2, 1. Yes. Wow. Super. It's gonna be the. Yeah. $95, 45, 45. Why is it not adding up? Oh, it's setting it. It's not. Or when setting, we have to add up the previous value. So here, add. This plus this. Coming. Added. If it's added here.
Coming.
Huh?
Coming.
I know shit.
Also put the light. The headphones light.
Not good. Add. It's added and added. Why is it not adding? Oh, is it not on constant? Instance editor. Ah, yes, that's the reason I think. No. Now if it works, it's crazy. It's not working. Keeps resetting here, I think. Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah, it is. 34. 34. Ah, okay. No shit. 2, 6, 7. Questionable. Oh, it's 0.5. It's 0.5 here. Wait. Let me just skip to 1. But how do I make it out of the structure itself? Is it able to be able to? I'll search it up later.